Welcome to the UFC Central Studios. Saturday night, right here on Sportsnet, Michael the Count Bisping will take on Vitor Belfort in the main event in Sao Paulo, Brazil. And the Count hasn't stopped spouting off about his opponent. Michael is all about promoting his fights, and it's a part of the business the vast majority of fighters are simply too afraid to partake in.
I mean, it's not something I've been overly conscious of over the years. I think I am a little bit now, but over the years, listen, I talk a lot. I've always been very opinionated, always been very vocal.
He's the size of my leg. He weighs about the same as my girlfriend. My son could beat him up.
You know, some people have liked that and some people don't like that. Chael Sonnen, I think, is maybe a little bit different. He goes out there and plans his lines and all the rest of it, and it's a little bit more thought out.
This guy's not from a bowing culture. You bow in Brazil, they'll hit you over the head and take your wallet out of your pocket.
I think a black belt under the Nogueira brothers is saying I got a free toy at my Happy Meal.
So you could say maybe Chael Sonnen's pretending to be an ass and I'm an ass in real life. Who knows?
Mark Munoz came bouncing into that fight like he was at bloody NSYNC contest. He looked fat and overweight. He looked like Alan Belcher's tattoo artist who had switched careers and done a bloody thing on the back of his head. Alan Belcher's tattoo artist has become a hairdresser for the night. I'll fight Alan Belcher on the way to the car right now, it's no problem. He needs to focus on having a fight with his tattoo artist for that abomination on his arm and leave me alone.
You know, yeah, listen, the sport's a business. You know, it's a business, we've got to sell these fights and, you know, you've got to generate interest in these fights, and the best way of doing that is opening your mouth and talking about it.
But this is a fight, we're going to fight each other, you know, and I want to generate interest and I want to get in his head a little bit. Am I going to say things he's not going to like? Yes, I am. I always do. Nobody likes whatever I say. So I need to fight this guy, I need to shut him up, put him in his place and have done with him. Jason Miller is not in my league. This is me versus Brian Stan. This isn't England versus America. You know, this is an individual sport. There's no tanks, missiles or guns involved in this. This is mano a mano, individual versus individual. I'm going to individually beat the crap out of him.
You ever have fans come up to you and be like, hey, you need to stop that. This is martial arts and you should be, it's like a bowing culture.
Yeah, well, the thing is this, I am a martial artist. I didn't get into this because I wanted to be a cage fighter and wear a tap-out t-shirt. I started doing traditional jiu-jitsu when I was 8 years old and competed all over the world. And I was a world champion and I'm a black belt. You know, I am a martial artist. But the general consensus on all the forums, etc., is that I'm, you know, the most hated man in the UFC, etc. But in my life, in my day-to-day life, when people approach me, they have nothing but good things to say. And I'll always stay and I'll have a picture and I'll talk to them and sign stuff and then talk to them for 5 minutes about complete random stuff. You know, people won't have bad interactions with me, and, you know, for the most part, fortunately, it all seems to be a bit of pantomime.
All the pressure on Saturday night falls on Bisping's shoulders, but with a win over Belfort, he'll be jumping out of the frying pan and into the fire as he will officially secure himself a title shot versus middleweight champion Anderson Silva. And we'll have a full recap of the event on next week's UFC Central, airing Monday night and all week long right here on Sportsnet.